Here we go, gentlemen.
I'm ready.
Nod to the odds. Today, nod to the odd, medical oddities.
Oh, man. We don't have to look at them,
I love watching those botched
like
plastic surgeries and different people with deformities that have like an extra toe and stuff.
I won't even watch Dr. Pimple Popper. It grosses me out.
Really?
If it's a good one.
You don't get any satisfaction? The big boils I don't like, but sometimes some of it's pretty good.
When they drain a cyst?
No.
And it just keeps draining?
Because I can smell it through the TV.
You ever see when they drain a cyst like on the haunches of a horse or a cow, and it just gallons of ooze comes out?
I love any haunch work, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, doctors have discovered something they didn't think that they would. Doctors in Missouri got the shock of their lives during a routine colonoscopy.
That's not where you want a shock.
No.
And you're aware of what a
surprises.
colonoscopy is, aren't you?
That's when they send a little camera. I asked for the thicker one to check up in there.
You want a 4K red camera?
Mm-hmm. Just put a regular camera up there if you got a GoPro.
Edges and all.
That's it.
Don't lube it, Doc.
Put a shotgun microphone
I
on
want to
it.
feel this.
I want to feel it.
I want to know that I'm alive. The American Journal of Gastroenterology has recently spell gastroenterology.
Easy. GASTROENTOLOG.
You were getting so close that I was going to come out of my chair. You ended up nowhere near it. They recently published a bizarre case. A 63-year-old man went in for a routine colonoscopy. He showed up there for the screening. Doctors at a Missouri hospital conducted the colonoscopy. It's a procedure where the camera is inserted into the intestines to check for any abnormalities. And guess what? It's exactly what they found, an abnormality while exploring the patient's traverse colon. I'll give each of you one guess as to what they found in his gut.
Hot Wheels car.
It was not a Hot Wheels car. Great guess. Chewy?
I would say some limited edition Pokemon card.
Limited edition Pokemon card. Also a great guess. But neither of you guessed living fly. And so neither of you are going to win. An intact living fly was somehow surviving and living inside of his colon.
How'd Jeff Goldblum get in there?
Help me.
Are you ready? Are you ready
help
for
me.
You ready for this quote from the magazine? This case represents a very rare colonoscopic finding. It's a mystery how the intact fly found its way into the traverse colon. Really?
He swallowed it in his sleep, and then it just got down in there.
No, it could be maggots in there that are like...
The problem is even if you swallow it in your sleep, it shouldn't be in there because it should go through your stomach acid.
Not unless it flew through there really quick.
The guy says the day before his 24-hour fast, he'd eaten pizza and lettuce, but did not recall eating a fly. Well, okay. Even if he ate it, he would have swallowed it whole. He would have had to remember chewing or something.
So what do? Get a fly swatter and put it in there, or do some fly tape?
They did what Texas barbecue restaurants did, and they put a giant Ziploc bag of water up in his backside, and it scared the fly out of there. Yeah. So there you go. That is, it's very interesting.
Right,
and I
that's
say
weird.
That's got to be, this year at the holiday, when you're at the office, and everyone's like gathered around and tell stories of the year, and he's going to be like, hey, get this. You want to know what they found in my ass? A fly.
A living
damn fly.
Unless
right there in my butthole.
Training to take a hamster or something. I don't know why a fly would be in there.
That's what you think it's what it was? The man's name is Richard Gere.
I guess the larvae would have to go up there backside-wise.
You keep thinking larvae that it hatched in there, but I'm thinking it got in there somehow through one of our many orifices.
Except that all the up top orifices, you got to go through the acid bath. I don't know how it would end up there.
What if it flew without touching the lining? What if it flew?
That's incredible.
From the esophagus straight into the...
Just hauled ass?
Yeah, just hauled ass. Didn't touch any lining. Didn't touch any lining of the stomach or the intestine.
Impossible.
Do you think that this guy is one of those...
sweet spot there.
You think there's any possibility this guy is one of those Joe Rogan fans who has listened to the podcast about where you show your beehole to the rising sun or whatever to get energy in the morning?
Yeah, get that red light, first light.
Yeah, and he was out there. Let's see if I could do this for the cameras. He's out there.
Look at that.
And he's
sun.
I just put it up like this.
Yeah. In stirrups.
And then Right there.
But
Maybe.
an anus is pretty closed. Mine is. I don't know.
What if he had a PVC pipe in there? Because he was rewiring something. And then it went through the PVC pipe. You
How
wouldn't even know.
embarrassing to fart and then a fly comes out.
That's
Like,
got to be, especially if you think you're going to get away with a silent one and you're on an elevator and then all of a sudden the fly comes out of your drawers and you're like, oh.
My bad. My bad.
Not bad.
Mornings with Matt and Bob presents
Nods
to the Odd.
A Romanian man was recently saved by doctors. He cut his own wrists with an angle grinder. He was attempting suicide.
Oh.
It wasn't an accident. He was actually trying to cut his wrists with an angle grinder,
Well,
which
that's
is
sad.
it's very severe.
Yeah.
The reason he was trying to take his life is that he was depressed about his cancer, and he no longer wanted to live with the cancer. He told his wife he was going outside to get some firewood. And it turns out he actually slashed his wrists with the angle grinder. She called an ambulance. A team of paramedics arrived to quickly stabilize the bleeding man. He was rushed to the county hospital, received the care he needed to stop the profuse bleeding. And he even had his hands reattached since they had been really dangerously. The reason I bring this up is that they asked him what had gone on, and he said that he was depressed about his cancer. And they asked him about his cancer because they went through his charts, and they did not see cancer listed in any of his medical charts.
He wasn't well.
It turns out that he had diagnosed himself with cancer after reading the internet because he had had stomach pains for some time, and he had taken all the information from the internet and discovered that he had cancer. Here's the problem. It turns out he doesn't have cancer. He just said, I don't know if you know this, but any symptom you look up on the internet, cancer is
It's a cancer
always
symptom.
where it goes. Like, if you're tired all the time, that's cancer.
I'm breathing too much.
Cancer.
Huh.
Slouching, cancer.
Don't have money for lunch.
Cancer.
My mouth is dry.
Cancer. Don't call back when you're supposed to. Cancer.
Cancer.
Luckily, he's fine. Turns out that the colon problem was just something else.
That's a win-win for him.
Well, now he has to walk around, and every time he shakes somebody's hand, they're going to see some pretty terrible scarring, and they'll be like, what happened? And he's going to have to say, oh, I had wrist cancer?
You got to put tattoos around it or something. Barbed wire.
Nobody's going to believe you had nobody's heard of wrist cancer before.
I'm sure it exists. Who's going to look it up? Wrist? Yeah, no one's going to.
I will say this. He's not going to need his phone for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Sorry. Just an errant thumb is all that was.
That's all right.
Mornings with Matt and Bob presents Nods to the Odd.
A man was suffering from headaches for 5 months.
Oh, that's...
It's a Vietnamese man. Severe headaches. He had loss of vision, and he panicked, and he went to the doctors. They could not find out what was happening. He was led into another hospital. They said they weren't not sure what was happening. These constant headaches were going on, so they finally said, "Okay, let's take him in for one of those CT scans, right?" And upon doing that, they found that he had 2 foreign objects protruding through his skull, and it turns out they were chopsticks. He had chopsticks that had gone up his nose and broken their way.
I've never been good at chopsticks, but
This
I mean,
guy sounds
apparently,
terrible.
yeah.
Sounds terrible.
I don't think that's how you do them.
Maybe he was trying to get a fly out with those things.
Could have been.
It turns out that while out drinking one night, he had gotten into a fight with somebody else. He ended up in the emergency room. Doctors patched him up, sent him on his way. They did not realize that somebody else during the fight, he'd either fallen on them or someone had shoved them up his nose. Thus, the constant headaches. But yep, he says that he's now stable. He's been discharged from the hospital. But yes, apparently having chopsticks stuck in your brain, not super healthy. Here's a weird thing, though. Recently, a woman in Taiwan, same problem. Had chopsticks pierce her brain after an altercation with her sister. So I don't know what's going on, but You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe they ought to put one of those Surgeon General warnings on the package.
Not for nose?
Yeah. The Surgeon General has determined that chopsticks anywhere near your nostrils.
But even if you wanted to shiv somebody with that, it's hard to grip
super hard.
the little bitty.
You know what
Speaking
happens?
of shiving, did you hear? Oh wait,
Oh, what? Go ahead.
about Derek shiving or Chauvin?
Oh, that's a completely different person.
I know. We call him shiving now.
Oh, did he get stabbed?
He did get stabbed in
Oh,
prison.
man, that is...
He'll recover. It's prison.
Yeah, well, it's not good ever to be an ex-cop in a prison, is it?
Yeah.
Also, you can't outlaw chopsticks, because once you outlaw chopsticks, only criminals will have chopsticks, right?
That's right.
That's what they say.
Mornings with Matt and Bob
Come and take
presents
'em.
Nods to the Odd.
And finally, please, if you have a mother, a grandmother, or grandfather, someone in the family who loves
Casseroles?
Newsmax,
Oh.
please turn off the radio. We do not want them to hear this next story because they'll freak out. But it turns out they caught a woke lobster in Maine.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. It's happening.
Was it rainbow colored?
Goddamn woke lobster.
Hot
A
damn.
lobster caught in Maine.
Woke lobster.
It is. Have you ever heard of a blue lobster?
Roof rusted.
There is a very rare condition that can happen to a lobster where it can be blue instead of red. This
Bloods are
lobster,
furious.
this lobster is actually split down the middle. It's half blue, half red. It gets worse.
I hate centrists.
It turns out that it is half male, half female.
Oh, the liberals. This is the future the liberals want.
This is what they're doing. I'm trying to sit there at the Nordstrom and take a deuce. Just trying to waddle a little turdy out of my backside, and in comes a half red, half blue lobster. Half male, half... How am I supposed to?
Not right.
It probably wanted to get a piece of me. It probably wanted to try.
Probably did. You know what? Build that aquarium. Build that aquarium. Build that aquarium.
They need stronger rubber bands for those
Yeah, they do.
lobsters.
And androgynous. First, I got to buy tickets for my daughter to go see Harry Styles. And he wears bows and satin shirts. And now I've got a lobster.
But wait a minute.
Pick a lane, lobster.
If we put white rubber bands on the claws, then we got red, white, and blue. Now we're all American lobster. Loophole.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Put a little white little hat on them.
before we
white
see
little,
A red little hat with white
little
lettering.
beanie.
before we see this lobster as our enemy, maybe the lobster is a message from the ocean that none of us are red and none of us are fully blue.
Make Atlantis
I
great
can be
again.
blue.
None of us are fully male and none of us are fully female. What we all are is American. And what does that mean? That means we have the right, once a year, on a Friday, after fighting with our family, to fight with strangers in a Walmart or a Target parking lot and get great discounts. And then on Saturday and Sunday, to do more research, to buy more stuff for us on Cyber Monday and be out of money for Giving Tuesday. Ladies and gentlemen, that is today's Nod to the
Matt and
Odd.
Bob presents Nods to the Odd.
And now, in
And
true
now.
American fashion, yeah! Here's Mountain with Mississippi Queen.
More cowbell.
I'll tell you what, you won't find no happy lobster in Mississippi. We get your ass right the hell out of Mississippi. We don't want none of those mixed lobsters down here.
Get.